What's up, guys? It's your boy JK Primetime, and today we're gonna look here at the off-season moves the Jets made so far, especially yesterday with the free agency signings they made. I waited till today because I wanted to make sure that since today started the official period of free agency, that I knew a little bit more details on how much guys were getting signed for, and the length of contracts and things like that, to give an accurate analysis, I guess you could say, of if these signings were good for the Jets or not. To start off, just with a big overview of what they did yesterday. When it comes down to it, the first move they made, they re-signed Josh McCown to a 1-year, $10 million deal. They signed Avery Williamson, an inside linebacker from Tennessee. They signed Isaiah Crowell. They signed Teddy Bridgewater, and the biggest signing out of all these is probably the signing of Tremaine Johnson, cornerback from the Rams. So first we'll start with the re-signing of Josh McCown. Now Josh McCown got re-signed to a 1-year, $10 million deal. He actually did good last year for us. He was a good quarterback, better than really I think anyone expected from him. He's always been like a journeyman quarterback, always been really a backup. He hasn't necessarily been a top caliber quarterback, but last year threw for 67%, almost 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I mean, overall he did really good, especially the year before where he put pedestrian 6-6 ratio touchdown interception wise with the Browns. Overall, I mean, Josh McCown, we need another veteran quarterback. I still think that we're going to be drafting a quarterback in this year's draft, so I definitely feel like we needed some veteran leadership and just a bridge quarterback for us to be able to at least be somewhat decent, because I definitely wouldn't want to have us throwing a rookie quarterback into the fold, like, for example, what we did with our last somewhat highly drafted quarterback with like a Geno Smith, who really was inconsistent and just struggled. So with him, $10 million is a little bit much. I know it's a 1-year deal. The Jets have had a plethora of cap room, so I don't think it's really going to be an issue. It was a little high for my liking, but overall, it's only a 1-year deal. He brings good veteran leadership, and worst case scenario, can play. He put up a decent season last year, so I think that he won't be. He's a decent keep for us. So the next move they made is we signed Avery Williamson. When it comes to Williamson, at least as of right now, I don't think there's any word necessarily on his on the details. A lot of people are saying, if I'm not mistaken, that his contract is 3 years, $22.5 million, so that's a shade under 10. We need a new middle linebacker. Weren't really able to agree with the deal with Demario Davis, so he is a good replacement, at least to fill up the gap that we have right now. I don't know if he will be better than Davis or how Davis was last year, but I think he was definitely a decent signing for us. Just under $10 million, 3 years. I don't think that's too crazy of a deal. But overall, I think he's a good signing. I always looked out for him. I mean, 92 combined tackles, 40 tackle assists, 3 sacks. So he's a decent linebacker. We'll really have to see, how Todd Bowles uses him. But I really think, with Todd Bowles, I think he'll be able to figure out something for him. I think he'll be at least decent for us. Maybe not better than Davis, like I said, but I think he'll be a decent player for us. Now, next we have Isaiah Crowell, running back for formerly of the Browns. We signed him for a 3-year deal with $12 million with $6 million guaranteed. Isaiah Crowell was actually, as I discussed in my last video with who the Browns should draft, I really felt like Isaiah Crowell was a decent quarterback. I mean, or decent, not quarterback, running back, excuse me. He didn't put up crazy stats last year with the Browns. He only had like 2 or 3 touchdowns. He didn't score that much, but he still had 853 yards and 206 attempts. There's still a 4.1 average, which is decent. So, for $6 million, at worst $6 million over 3 years, which is about $2 million a year, I really feel like that he's worth it. Matt Forte had just retired too, so I definitely feel like I feel like he might even be better than Forte. I think Forte was a lot older. Forte was at the end of his career, so Crowell's young, he's durable. He could do some pass catching out of the backfield, so I definitely think he's solid. And for the money we're getting him at, he'll be able to be a consistent staying piece with our team. The next signing we made was Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that I loved coming out of the draft. He was actually one of my favorite quarterbacks coming out. Louisville guy, pocket passer. I just liked him as a quarterback. I think he was the best quarterback, at least at that point, coming out, than the quarterbacks coming out at that time, like a Derek Carr, Manziel, the other guys that are listed in that draft. He is coming off an ACL injury, but with his contract, again, it's only 1 year, $5 million. It's a 1 year, $5 million deal. It can go up to $10 million, based probably on other incentives. So, or not 10, 15, I'm sorry. So, $5 million is a decent, he's a low-risk guy. We have him for a year. He can bring competition with Josh McCown to be a bridge quarterback. And God forbid he does do really well and has a great comeback to his knee injury. He could definitely come in and be able to, help our team and, really be mainstay quarterback. But I think we'll definitely, again, even though we do have Teddy Bridgewater, he's a good, decent young quarterback who has potential, I still think we are going to draft one because, again, the ACL injury combined with everything else, I just think it would be better for us to bring him in. His stats last time he played, which back in 2015, he had 65.3. He pretty much 65% completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So he seems like a guy who's not going to be, a star quarterback, but he's definitely a guy who could be a good game manager, try not to turn the ball over too much. He needs to get the passing touchdowns up a little bit more, and he could be a decent quarterback and a good young quarterback to hold us for this year as we develop that possible future draft pick, first-round quarterback that will, at least I feel like we will probably get. And then the last free agent signing that we have, which is the biggest one, is Tremaine Johnson. Now, Tremaine Johnson, they don't have the amount of years necessarily so far, but sources are saying that he's going to be signing a deal that has about up to $15 million per year, right around $15 million a year. Tremaine Johnson, was one of the top, not even free agents, top cornerback, probably free agent, him and Malcolm Butler, but then also one of the top free agents in general. I feel like with our team, we had our safety secured because we had, we just drafted Jamal Adams and May the previous draft year. I think they've done well. We lost Morris Claiborne. He's a free agent right now, so we don't have a number one cornerback. So unless we wanted to have I don't even know who, because I think Buster Skrine is also we cut him. So we didn't really have anyone in our secondary, at least at the cornerback spot. He comes in. I mean, he's a big corner. He's 6'1", over 200 pounds. I really feel like he'll come in and be a solid number one cornerback for us. And to be honest, I think it really gives Todd Bowles a chance to see how good this defense will be. Because even though we did lose, we got rid of Mo Wilkerson. We still have Leonard Williams on the line. We got rid of Sheldon McClellan. But still, I mean, with that secondary with Adams, Marcus May, and Tremaine Johnson, if we can maybe re-sign more Claiborne, or try to find someone else to be a good second-hand, second cornerback. I definitely feel like that we have this team, has a lot of potential. I mean, Johnson put up 65 tackles. He only had 2 picks and 1 forced fumble, but he's definitely he's seen by other teams as a number one cornerback, and I definitely feel like he can be a great addition for this team. So overall, I am, happy with what they did. I really feel like with the moves they made so far, they could be, at least next year better. I think they could be possibly a 500 team next year waiting, next year, and then, bring in that young quarterback, have him start and really turn into things. And I think this team has a bunch of potential when it comes to what they can do. But tell me what you guys think of how they did in the comments. And besides that, I'm out.